Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. I do hope that you will stick around. My name is Mrs. Morrison, well, Sarah Morrison. I am a newlywed and I have been vlogging for just over a year now, and I do lots of stuff on my channel, lots of fun stuff, hauls, vlogs, cleaning videos, challenges. I often get my husband involved and he's very funny and very popular on my channel. So do please subscribe to my channel and be part of our family. Today's video is all about if you are suffering from depression but you want to have a baby and you're unsure of what really is okay and what isn't in that situation. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I have been suffering with depression for many years and I have been on medication. And me and my husband are thinking about our future and the fact that we do want to have kids eventually, and we kind of just wanted to know where we stand with the fact that I am on medication, and how that works for us trying to conceive and for the duration of pregnancy. And it was just something that we felt that we needed to do a bit of research before just jumping into it. So I made an appointment with my doctor and he told me some things that I thought would be really good to share with you. Because if you just trust what the internet says, you will fare badly. Basically, the internet isn't always right, and I think it's always important to do your research and ask the professionals, so that's what I did. So first of all, when I told my doctor that me and my husband wanted to start trying for a baby eventually, I wanted to know how soon can we try. Do we have to sort of wait a while? Is there a process? Am I meant to come on a lower dosage? Do I have to come off the meds completely? Is there an alternative? And I was very worried about this because I have, like I said, I've been on my medication for a long time and I have tried to come off before and struggled, so it's part and parcel of my life. The doctor basically said he would like to try and wean me off my meds, so that was basically something that we had to think about. You know, we do want a baby, but we don't want to put our baby at risk, and the doctor did say that on antidepressants there is a tiny risk of heart failure within a baby. So he tried to encourage me, as much as you want to have a baby, do you want to have one so badly that you will risk your baby having to have open heart surgery? And that kind of was a wake-up call to me, because no one wants to put their baby through that. So we discussed the options of coming off my meds and how we could wean me off slowly. My eyes are itchy. And basically we started the process, and yeah, I struggled. I struggled, and I was a bit concerned because obviously I don't want to have a baby and have a high risk pregnancy, but it was a case of, if I was to come off of the meds and I was already struggling on such a low dosage, that was more dangerous than having a baby on the meds. So so what the doctor initially told me basically was, we want you to try and come off the medicine because your baby will be getting some of the drug whilst you're pregnant. And obviously he said very tiny risk, but it's still there. He said we can't ignore it, we do have to tell you, even though it's, you know, the tiniest possible risk, it's a risk, it's there. So yeah, so I was a bit concerned because as I got to a lower dosage, I was really struggling. So I had a month review, so I went back to the doctor a month later, and he was like, it's fine, we're going to put your dosage back up and you can just try for a baby and don't worry about it. So we talked a lot about the fact that he felt he had to tell me in the first place was because it's his duty as a doctor to inform me of the risks, and to let me know what could happen. But he also said not to fear, because people have babies on depression medication and other medication. He said all the time, you know, think of all the people that are out there and they're drinking and smoking and, you know, clubbing and all these things, and they don't even know they're pregnant and they go on to have healthy babies. He said, just as a doctor, I have to let you know of the risks, but you shouldn't worry. He said, I have to tell you because obviously if there is a risk, it means that if there's 1 in 300 people that are going to have this problem, that's one person in 300. Who's to say you're not going to be that one person? But he did say, don't worry. He said, you know, there are just other things you have to consider if you're having a baby on medication such as the antidepressant that I'm on. He basically said home birth is not really a very wise option, because I would need extra care than a normal pregnant person who was not on medication. He said I would probably end up having more checkups, more scans, and have close attention, because if I'm depressed, that affects my baby. So it's more about, I need to keep myself safe, I need to keep myself happy, I need to keep myself on top of things, because what I do will affect my unborn baby and then my baby. So he basically just said, I would have to see, now I can't remember what he said, it's like a prenatal psychologist or something like that, but somebody who specialises in pregnant women with depression, because they need to make sure that I'm doing all I can during the pregnancy to stay healthy, happy, fit, on top of things, as much as I can. Because obviously if I fail to eat or I fail to look after myself, there is another life at risk, because they are in my womb and they're not getting anything if I'm not giving them anything. So it's all about care for myself, really. So yeah, he basically said I'd have more scans and I'd be looked after more, like checked up on, basically, and that's why home birth would not really be wise, because I would need the extra care. He also said if I was to have a baby whilst I'm on the meds, the chances are I'll probably be kept in hospital a bit longer than the norm. So instead of, I don't know what it is, 24 hours or something, it would be probably another 24 hours on top of that, just to check that I'm okay and to check that the baby's okay. Another thing he said was I would need to breastfeed, because he said, imagine, you know, the baby's been taking in the drug in your system and only taking a little fraction. You don't need to worry, it's not going to affect the baby, just a tiny fraction of the drug, but it will go into the baby's bloodstream. And imagine the baby's born, suddenly it's not getting that drug. It's like when you've been smoking for so long and then you just cut yourself off. You will have you will have withdrawal symptoms, and so to stop the baby going through any harm or upset or anything like that, it would be best to breastfeed so that they could still get that tiny little bit that they were getting before. And then obviously he said when you breastfeed, you don't just stop breastfeeding, you sort of wean them off. So it's like weaning the baby off the drug. So that's another thing. Basically, what else did he say? He said the drug that I'm on, I'm basically on fluoxetine, which is Prozac, and he said that is a very safe drug for pregnancy. That is probably what they would recommend. He said anything that says it's herbal or natural, don't be fooled. He said they just haven't been through as many vigorous tests as normal medication. But I don't know, I mean, that this is all, I think he's just trying to throw in as much as he can to sort of be careful. Advice that he gave me was that I should do things that make me happy. If I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I should remove myself from that situation. Yeah, ultimately, if I'm happy, I'm not going to do anything that's going to affect my unborn baby. So that is pretty much the gist of it. I left the doctor's office feeling confident that I can have a healthy, happy baby and that I don't have to worry about coming off meds and being a complete wreck myself. He said things like, this is another thing actually, I asked him about sort of foods like soya milk and things that sort of have estrogen in them. Is that going to affect me more? Should I come off things like that? Not that I necessarily do, but is it something that I should make sure I don't have? And he said it's not even worth worrying about. It's the tiniest thing. It's not going to affect anything. Just go on as normal. Just make sure you're happy, healthy, fit. And yeah, hopefully I can have a happy, healthy and fit baby. But he's also basically, because I now have to go up on my meds again, I've been advised not to come off the pill or anything, to stay on that whilst I'm changing my changing my medication again. And basically, yeah, when I'm stable, happy, content, I'm in control of things, that's the time when we can start thinking about trying. So it's still not very, 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 very close. It's not like next month I'll be, you know, off the pill. It's a process, but it's worth it, because in the end you'll have, you know, you'll have known that you took the right route rather than just go for it. And I'm not saying it's wrong if you do just go for it. I'm just saying this is what me and Johnny personally felt that we should do. We wanted to find out the facts. Because when I went online and I looked it up, it said that my particular antidepressant was the safest around. If a woman was pregnant and needed antidepressants, they would put her on this one and it would be the #1 go-to, no problems. And then obviously I find out there are risks, and minimal, but they are there. You know, just like with anything that we take has got risks and side effects, and we should all be made aware of them. So I just felt that because this was about bringing a new life into the world, this was just as important. And I could have quite easily gone, do you know what, it's fine. You know, I'm not in a place where thankfully I'm not, you know, suicidal or anything, so I don't have to worry about it. But the fact is, you don't know where you're going to end up, especially when you're on a mental health. I don't want to, I need to try and make this not sound so dark, but basically as a point of care from the doctor, they wanted me to make sure that I was okay first. And if I thought I could just come off them to have a baby, the consequences would be a lot worse than if I just have a baby on the meds. So I just thought it was important to let you guys know, if there's anyone out there who is suffering with depression and they are on medication and they're unsure. Obviously I've told you what my doctor told me, so you've got a little bit more insight, but do please go to your doctor. Don't think that it will be okay, or trust the internet or what other people say. If you're unsure, always ask a professional. It's very, very important, and it will be worth it in the end. So obviously when me and Johnny do decide we're going to start trying for a baby, we are a bit more clued up what options that we have. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've missed out. So no home birth, extra. I think that is it. But yeah, just do your research. Be smart about it. Yeah. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I felt that was important, and it was kind of on my mind. I thought, you know what, I wish there was a video out there like this when I was looking, and maybe there is, I don't know. I didn't really look as far as Google, but we all know Google is not always. I just had fear that my Google was going to start turning on and talking to us. Yeah. Anyway, I do hope that this video was enjoyable for you and helped you a little bit. If you know anyone who might benefit from this video, do share it. And don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. Put my teeth back in. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again in the next one.